Hey, what's up, Seekers? Wanugee with Golden Dragon Fortunes, your K-Rap Psychic. Hey, Blinks, come on in. We're going to be doing an update on a reading that we haven't done for somebody for over a year. Remember Blackpink, we love her. And it's going to be for Park Chae-young, Roseanne Park, Rosie. So, you ready, Blinks? Here we go.
I'm your K-Rap Psychic. Try me twice, you'll like it. My name is Wanugee. OGs call me Wanugee. I'm a wise fortune teller and a really mellow fella. Ask me about your favorite idol. See their future, see what's vital.
안녕하세요, 여러분. Welcome. Irashaimase, everybody. Come on in. Blinks, Blackpink fan, come on in. We're going to be doing Rose from Blackpink. And first we're going to start with the Mah Jong Tiles and see over the next 6 months to a year what kind of energy is flowing in her future, her chi energy. And we're going to use these tiles to help us do that. I already kind of concentrated on her and picked the tiles, and now we're just going to interpret them as we turn them over. So we're going to start with the center here, and the East tile shows up. And the East tile represents her, represents Roseanne Park, represents Rose. And it seems to say that there's going to be an emphasis on her, and it's going to be kind of up to her to make things happen. There's going to be a reliance on her for maybe the 6 to 8 months as a theme, or 6 months to a year, about how she can maybe express herself more individually within the group. And so it seems like there's a lot of emphasis on her over this next 6 months to a year. And we look at the next couple months, seem to say that there's going to be some learning that she's going to be doing. There's the Four Flowers comes up, and this is called the Scholar Tile. And it says that she's going to be maybe in the 4th quarter of this year. There's going to be some indication that she may be learning something new, or trying to do something new, or express something new in a creative way. It seems to suggest, but she's aware of it, or she may be working on it as we speak in the next couple of months. But it's kind of pointing to the fall, like September, October. And this Scholar Tile, this Four Flowers, represents learning, knowledge, information, teaching, sharing of that kind of knowledge. And the Six of Circles that goes with it represents young female energy, represents creativity, femininity, beauty, a nice aesthetic, which obviously can be her, represents a young female like her. And it seems like that somehow there's going to be some indication in the next couple months that there's some preparations for that in the fall, and that's going to be going on. And it says that she's going to be thinking a lot in her own mind about the long-term impact of that. The Four Circles of Jade represents a disposition. The second position represents her inner thoughts and feelings, her subconscious thoughts and feelings. And she's thinking about the long term, about the long play. This is called the jade, so just is going from a rock in nature into beautiful jade jewelry. So that's the metaphor. And it says she's thinking about the long term, and she knows it's going to take some time and effort to realize something of higher value, but she's thinking a lot about how to make that happen. And if you go over here, and this is maybe, I don't know, roughly 2 to 4 months from now or so, it says the door of opportunity is opening up. The inner tile says the door is opening up, and a door of opportunity is opening up, either physically or symbolically. And it says that there's going to be some strength. The Two of Circles of Pine represents strength, her strength to kind of stand tall like a pine tree and make things happen. It could also represent that maybe there's some male energy here, somebody that has that kind of energy. This could represent a young male as well. So maybe there's something going on here. I don't know if that's a collab or just her own energy to express herself, but maybe she might get some assistance too in some way, as far as feeling stronger about her ability to make things happen. And then up here, this is probably maybe 3 months, maybe a little bit more, 3 to 5 months. So she's going to feel like there's an opportunity for her to let go of some past disappointments and do some healing, maybe some emotional healing. Because this Three of Bamboo represents kind of emotional healing. I seem to say that she's going to feel like she's moving in the right direction slowly. So maybe it could be about the comeback, maybe about her solo, but maybe she's feeling stronger about her ability to open up the door and go through it. Maybe in about 4 months, and that maybe is going to allow her to let go of some of the disappointments that she had before, when she had to kind of put everything on hold because of YG's issues with her own organization, perhaps. And then she's going to feel like things are moving in the right direction. And then if we could look up here, this is probably, I don't know, maybe 4 to 8 months from now, roughly, the time frame. So maybe September through the end of the year. There's going to be some things that are going to be in the way, or maybe her expectations aren't fully realized, and these two represent that. This one here is the Heaven Tile. She was expecting to be happy by this time, but it seemed like it's not quite as happy as she thought or she expected. So maybe her expectations were idealistic or unrealistic, but it's not just happening the way she expected. And so she's a little confused. This unicorn represents normally honesty and clarity, but she seems to be a little bit confused why things aren't quite working out as she thought or in the way she thought. So it seems to be a little bit of a twist here going on roughly in the last half of the year, maybe September through the end of the year. And but it says the solution is to kind of rethink things a little bit and think a little bit deeper about how to move forward, what she wants. The 4 bamboo represents the carp, represents kind of sitting next to the koi pond and reflecting and thinking more deeply about everything. And that might help her kind of move past this period of, expectations that weren't realized. Roughly 4 months to the year, end of the year, and roughly that time frame. And then over here, we go to the left here. This is probably about 5 or 6 to maybe 9 months from now, roughly. And it says things still continue to go moving in the right direction, got slowly but surely, like this turtle, the 7 of bamboo. And then it says there's something that kind of shows up around this time that she feels very attracted to. It's a little bit more of a risk, something she may want to go for and stretch for. This is called the fire tile, and it represents, something that has some ability to be dynamic and inspiring and attractive like fire, but also could burn her and burn resources. So there's a risk associated with it, but she feels like the benefit outweighs the risk, and she wants to go for it. And it seems to say it's something that's creative, because this is called the lute. The lute represents a string instrument, so maybe it's her guitar, but somehow it represents, performing, string instrument, harmony, comfort, those kinds of things. So maybe she's going to try something here, maybe a little bit, maybe some of her own songs, or maybe doing kind of like a solo kind of thing or folk album kind of thing with her guitar, kind of a more intimate thing. I don't know, but that's what the tiles seem to say. That's something that seems to be happening here roughly, about 6 to 9 months from now. And then, so that would be toward the end of the year or maybe starting the new year. And then the last 3 tiles say that she's going to be changing the way she sees herself. The peacock shows up. The peacock represents her, and that maybe she's changing the way she sees herself, and she's not just that trainee and that early idol, but she's kind of seeing that she's maturing. She wants to move in the next phase of her development as a woman, perhaps as an artist. But that seems to be happening, and there's going to be some type of commitment that's going to be happening. Some type of commitment is going to be coming up probably, I would say, next year. Probably the first 5 months of next year or so, first half of next year. This represents commitment. And it says that there's going to be maybe some more flexibility and adaptability that's going to be available for her around that time, because this is a willow tree kind of bending with the wind. So that's really interesting. And then just to kind of embellish this a little bit more, we're going to look at this line here, and this is going to be representing her career. And we're going to start from the center and kind of work out and see how, kind of another focus on her career and see if there's any more information here. So let's see what the tiles say. It says, the next couple of months, 3 months, there's some difficulty and challenges. The north tile shows up, represents some challenges. Maybe there's a few things that weren't working out exactly as she thought. Like I said up here, maybe some delays, but things are kind of not exactly as she expected in this period over the next 2 to 4 months. And it says that there's going to be some comeback. The phoenix rises out of the ashes. This is called the phoenix. So it's rising out of the ashes. And so it implies that maybe there's some comeback there, but there's going to be some difficulty to get it going and maybe get it the way she expected, or maybe the way others wanted it to be. But it's coming, but it's just going to have some problems around it in some way, it seems. And it says that there's going to be some thinking, some deep thinking about things, maybe in about 3 to 6 months or so. Again, this deep thought comes up like it did here. Said that maybe around that time there's going to be a kind of a rethinking of things, a deeper kind of reassessment of things as far as maybe coming back. And maybe there's going to be some adjustments that need to be made, or rethinking how this phoenix rises again. It's the same tile here. They're kind of together in a row. So it seems like there's a period of this over the next 4 to 6 months. And but it says that as she goes out to the new year, towards the end of the year and beginning of the new year, 2021, there's going to be some type of contracts or documents are going to be there. Some important paperwork, or I don't know if it's, maybe she's writing music, or maybe it has to do with her contract or something like that. But The white tile represents written communication. It's going to be emphasized. This is probably spring of next year, roughly. And that's going to change the way she sees herself, the peacock. Just like I said over here, that maybe she's realizing she needs to grow and expand, and she wants to do something that embodies that for her and allows her to express that. So she's ready to move on, move forward. This has to do with her career. And she's ready to kind of expand more and kind of move into the next phase of her maturity as an artist. And the last two tiles say that's going to lead to some decision or choice that she's going to be making, probably before mid next year, about a year from now. This represents a decision or choice about her career, and that she's going to be thinking about the long term. The jade shows up again. She's thinking about her long-term plans and what can maybe be valuable over the long term. She knows it's going to take time and effort, but she's going to be thinking a lot about that around that time. So I don't know if that has to do with her plans with YG or contracts or what, but it seems like there's something percolating here, or maybe she just wants to do more writing or more of her own songs, maybe express herself in a different way. We'll see what happens. And then this one here has to do with her love life, and more particular. And so let's see what the tiles say for that. You ready? Blinks? Okay, here we go. So, it seems to say that right now in the short term, she's really focused on work and her responsibilities and authorities in her life. The tiger represents authority, so she's just trying to get something together, get it all done, meet the demands, meet the timetables, and follow her company's lead. But there is something that she desires. There's something that this could represent an older male too, somebody that has some authority, or maybe some gravitas, or maybe has some responsibilities. So that could represent that as well. And there's something that she finds desirable, attractive. So I don't know if this has to do with somebody within the company, or just somebody in the industry, or what. Or maybe she wants to do something in a collab with somebody that maybe there's some interest there. Maybe there's more than just professional interest. But this is the fire tile represents a risk, taking a risk, willing to maybe go out there into the fire and maybe possibly get burned, but wanting to give it a try anyway. So maybe she's just trying to figure out how to make something happen, but she's got YG's rules and all that stuff in the way, and she's trying to figure out how to navigate that. So there's something she desires, but there's authority in the way. Over the next 3 months probably. And it says that there's going to be some maybe some talking, meeting, or communication is going to start to evolve in about 3 to 6 months. This 6 of bamboo represents communications. So it seems to suggest that she might be doing a little bit more talking and meeting, communicating. But it's going to be difficult. The north tile says there's some cold wind blowing through, so she has to, kind of blowing in her face. So there's going to be some challenges she has to work through in order to make those communications happen. So maybe there's somebody of interest, and maybe she's trying to sneak away and get some communications going. But obviously it's challenging being an idol, coming out with some new comebacks, going, all the responsibilities of having to do a comeback makes it very difficult. But it says that, maybe early next year, or the beginning of next year, roughly the end of the year, beginning of the new year, that she's going to be making some type of commitment. The knot shows up, represents commitment. So she's going to be committing to something in some way that may have some impact on her love life. And she's trying to rise again, like the phoenix again, trying to make things happen, just like I said up here. So there's something maybe interrelated in some way about her love life, maybe her career, maybe her aspirations, both in love and career. But she's going to make some kind of commitment to help her kind of push through and kind of reinvent herself in a new way. Probably 6 to 9 months from now. And it says that is going to lead to some more documents or paperwork, like we had here. The white tile shows up. It says there may be some written communications, documents, paperwork that may be emphasized, that has some impact on her love life, maybe her career in some way. It seems to say that there's going to be something that's going to be published, or something that's written or communicated through a written format, or through a TV, a smartphone. That's kind of what it looks like. But it's going to be a different location. There's going to be something about location. She might be changing location or traveling, or there's something about land and property. But there's something going on there that has to do with paperwork and where things are located and how it's changing. And that has some kind of impact, perhaps. Maybe it's tangential, but it has some impact on her love life. in some way, because we're asking about her love life in that question here. So, a lot going on there, a lot to absorb. So that's what it says in general. So next we're going to look at some popular ships that she has and seeing which ones are most compatible. So let's do that next. Ready? Thanks. All right, now Blinks, we're going to take a look at ships. The most popular ships, we just grabbed a handful of them, the most popular, and we're going to see how compatible they are. But first we're going to start with the ships that might be within Rosé's own group, Blackpink. So let's see how Blackpink matches up as far as compatibility, the other members with Rosé. So we'll start with the third best match. What do you think it's going to be? Let's take a look. It's going to be Jennie. This is actually the third best combination. Jennie is, let's see what the numbers are for compatibility. It's 62%. So 62% and 5 points. So what we did here is we already did all the calculations. We looked at numerology, looked at Batsa Chinese astrology, we did Indian Vedic astrology, and we did Western zodiac astrology. And we already figured out all the calculations, each one. I'm not going to show you them all because it just takes too much time. But we totaled them all up in points and we averaged the percentages, and that's what we came up with. So Jennie is at 62%, and she is the third best compatible with Rosé. So number 2 is Jisoo. Jisoo is number 2 compatibility. She's at 67% and 6 points based on all those 4 things that we just mentioned. So that leaves only one more person, and that is her fellow maknae, the maknae of the group, but they're kind of born the same year, only about a month apart. And of course, that's Lisa, Lisa Manaban. They should spend a lot of time together. You kind of have like the older group, Jisoo and Jennie that bonded early, and now you had the later comers with Lisa and Rosé. So the compatibility is 72% for Lisa and 7 points. So, but they're all very compatible. I mean, they're all friends. And of course, they've been together for many, many years, and they get along great. They support each other. Obviously, they're all different personalities. So this makes a little bit difference about how that might affect these percentages, but it's very small. So Lisa and Rosé been getting along great. They have their moments, but that's probably the most compatible. So next thing we did, for all you Army out there, because I know there's a lot of you, so Army, welcome in. We're going to see how Rosé matches up with some of the most popular Army ships, and there's a lot of them, but we only picked 3 because we want to kind of streamline this. So let's see what the top 3 Army ships are for Rosé and a member of BTS. I mean, the most popular ship, I think, there's certainly some really serious shippers. Maybe they're delulu, maybe they're not. That's what they believe. It's going to be for you roast cookers, because it's Jungkook. And Jungkook, let's see what the numbers are. Jungkook is 62% compatible with 4 points with Rosé, and he's number 3. So I didn't do 4 of the guys. Usually it's the same people being shipped with the same people. The cutest ones. It's usually by looks and cuteness, and who you like and who's popular. That's what ships are all about. It's about you. It's not about them. But anyway, number 3 is you roast cookers. Sorry, it's Jungkook. He's at 62% and 4 points. So he's not even as good as Jennie. And then number 2 is Jimin. Yep, Jimin is above Jungkook in compatibility. We combine all 4 of these criteria, and Jimin's at 68% and 5 points. So he's at number 2 in compatibility of the 3 BTS members we use for shipping with Rosé. And then number 1 is, sorry you Tenny fans, but it's V, Kim Taeyoung. He is the most compatible with Rosé. I think when we did his countdown, I think Rosé was number 5 out of 30 people as far as compatibility. But so you look at the back the other way, V out of BTS, of the top 3 most popular shippers, is number 1 in compatibility with Rose. So I don't know why they don't get V Rose. It doesn't get as much mileage as Rose Cook. I don't know. You tell me. It's a fan thing. But the number is 71% and 7 points. It's almost equal to Lisa. Lisa's at 72% and 7 points. So I looked at a few other people as well, and we can just see. I just kind of grabbed some popular ships. So let's see what they look like. So number 5, we picked 5 other ships. Number 5, somebody from GOT7, and it's JB. JB only has a 59% compatibility and 5 points. So number 4 is Bangchan. So he was born in Seoul, but he was raised in Sydney, Australia. So that's why I picked him. And also, I haven't done somebody from Stray Kids for forever. He's at 60% and 6 points. So he's number 4 in compatibility out of these 5 random guys. Okay, number 3 is Jaehyun. Jaehyun of NCT. So it seems to be a popular ship for some reason. I guess he's popular in NCT. Jaehyun, Rose, 63%, 5 points. So we go by the percentage first, then the points. So he's number 3 in compatibility. Number 2 is Sungjae. Don't tell Joy this of what Red Velvet, because we got married together a few years ago. So there's a lot of Sungjae Joy shippers. But he's number 2, Sungjae from B2B. A lot of you foreigners don't know about B2B. It's more popular in Korea. They haven't done as much outside of Korea. Sungjae is at 64% and 5 points. He's number 2 out of these 5 guys. And number 1, there's a lot of these fans for this person. Number 1 in compatibility out of this group of 5 is Channy. Chanyeol, XO. You XOLs? Come on in. You're welcome. And let's see what the numbers say. He's 65% and 5 points. You can see that none of these guys are as good as Lisa or as good as V, because they're in their 70s, and these guys are only 60%. So that's the random guys. So the top 3, to recap, the top 3 most compatible, based on this criteria of compatibility, is Jimin, number 3 at 68%. Then it's V from BTS at 71% and 7 points. And then it's Lisa, 72% and 7 points. So that's the compatibility for Rose of these popular ships. Now, one more thing we're going to do before I finish with Rose is we're going to look at the tea leaves, and we're going to see what kind of information may be in the tea leaves. So I want you to help me out. I want you to use your imagination. I want you to look to see if there's anything in the tea leaves, like letters, numbers, Hangul, Korean writing, English writing. Maybe there's going to be some symbols. Maybe there's going to be some Chinese astrology animals, like rabbit and dog and pig. Or maybe there's going to be Western zodiac animals. But we're going to see mainly if there's anything that maybe has to do with her future and maybe some ships or maybe her love life. So we'll do that next. Here we go. Okay, Blinks. So here we have the tea leaves that we created. We're using jasmine tea. We put them in a bowl so you can see more of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to start right about here where this little symbol starts. This is going to be starting now and then moving that way to the left, and we'll kind of do a whole 1-year loop around. And so what I want you to do is I want you to help me look at these tea leaves and see if you can see any kind of symbology that may be useful as far as what might be happening for Rose, or maybe it has to do with her love life as far as ships. So that's what I want you to do. So let's start right here. What is this? What is this here? Does that look like a... What is that there? Is that an animal, or is that a person? What do you see there? Do you see? Use your imagination here. Is that a letter? Is that some Hangul? Maybe it's a zodiac animal. But this is happening right about now, because this is our starting point here. It's almost like a person that's kind of being held back. It's kind of being weighed back. It's kind of being stalled a little bit. Looks like maybe that's a little turtle there or something. Maybe things are just moving slower than expected or slower than you wanted. But does it look like a little bit like that? Maybe there's somebody here that's being held back by this, this figure there that kind of maybe just represents, circumstances. If we go over here, this is maybe, I don't know, a month out. This is really interesting. Looks like it's very colorful. Looks like there's something new maybe opening up, or something's coming out here. This is kind of coming out of this package. So maybe that's their comeback. Something coming up in the next few weeks. Looks like something's rising out of this kind of packaging or something like that, doesn't it? Use your imagination here. If you go over here, and this is probably about, I don't know, maybe 2 months. It seems like there's a lot going on here. Looks like there's some type of, pretty complicated here, all this. So it seems like there's a couple of different things here. Maybe those are paperwork or notes or music. And then there's something going on here. All this. This is interesting here. It's like a little high thing here. It's kind of gold. So maybe that's a goal that they're reaching for. She's reaching for. Is this a person here? A person that's doing something, trying to make something. Is this a bug? What's that? Or is that a turtle? I mean, use your imagination. I don't know what that says, but it kind of has a lot of different interpretations there. So maybe help me out, put some comments down there. And this is roughly about 3 months from now. Because here's another one of those symbols here. And every time we see one of these blue things, it's about 3 months. So what do we see here? This is, I don't know if it's from a distance, kind of looks like maybe there's wings are opening up, or get ready to open up or fly away. I don't know, maybe this is a bat. Maybe the virus is starting to get under control. I don't know. What do you think, Blinks? Or is this some type of animal? Symbolic of an animal? Maybe a zodiac animal? Gives you some hints. Like it's kind of going backwards here. This little dog here, something maybe going backwards this way. Or is it going forwards? And here's a couple of little triangles here, or see anything, Blinks? Seems like there's a little trail of things, or maybe leading to something new here. What do you see? There's a little I. Is that an I or an L? Maybe that's a clue. That somebody's sitting and waiting with their back to the I. What do you think? And over here, looks like this is like a hummingbird, or a bird is kind of flying and coming out of the nest. Maybe something's really starting to launch here. Maybe that's the album. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's her and her feelings of kind of going out there and putting herself out there a little bit more, maybe emotionally. And then here we have, looks like there's 4 things here, so maybe that's the 4 of them, Blackpink. One is bigger than the other, so I don't know, maybe one has a bigger role, or maybe that means there's a solo or something. It's almost like this is a cocoon about ready to be opened up. So maybe there's some surprise for us when the comeback comes along. Here, I don't know. Looks like these are 2 dogs begging for food. Maybe those are Blinks begging for more music, more stuff. Maybe begging for a tour. You got these things here. I'm not sure what those are, but there's 3 of them, and this is probably about 9 months out. Looks like there's something here that can't quite make out. You have any ideas? And over here, it seems like, is this like a lady, or is this like her, Rose kind of raising her hands, and is she waving with a scarf, or is that her, and she's got a new sense of herself and got some new joy, expressing joy, or kind of being happy about things. Maybe she's got an object of her focus here, this little thing here, something like that. getting close around. Is this a dog? Is that a dog or a lion or a lizard or maybe a dragon? Is that a dragon? Can I give you a clue about maybe a ship? You're the dragon? Or maybe there's something else there. A dog? You're the dog? Or maybe it's a lion, like Leo the lion. Maybe that gives you a Western astrology kind of clue. But this is probably getting out about 10 or 11 months, so it's getting next year. There's something here that's going on here. Maybe part of it, I don't know if it's a package or a little bit of gold here, a little hidden treasure. Anyway, so that's what the tea leaves say. So use your imagination, give some hints, and maybe you can see some ships there and just put them in the comments, and we'll take a look at it, okay? Thanks so much, Blinks. So that's it, everybody. That's the tea leaves for Rose. Thanks for helping me out. You know, if you have any ideas, please put them in the notes down below. Tell me what you think. You see some symbols, you see some letters, you see some numbers, you see whatever you see. This is where you're trying to get to be involved with this fortune telling a little bit. So I want you to use your imagination. Just tell me what you see. So you can do that down below. And if you want to find out your compatibility with your favorite idol, or maybe you want to find out the compatibility of 2 different idols that you like, we'll do that if you write down, you know, your birth information, the hour, the day, the month, the year, ideally, if you have all that, and the city and the country where you were born, and who you want to be matched up with as a K-pop idol, and see what compatibility you have with them. And if you give us all that, and if you like, and if you subscribe, you have to like and subscribe, because I can't do this for everybody, then we'll answer you back, and we'll tell you what your compatibility is. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, hit the bell, put it on social media. Hey, I'm on TikTok now. If you want to look for K-Rap Psychic on TikTok, I'm there. Just got started. But we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're all over. So until next time, wish you all good fortunes.
Hey, what's up, seekers? Looking in the future, peekers. You K-pop fakers coming round and see us every weekers. Yo, diehard K-pop fans, I want to know your stance. Just let us know your bias, then go ahead, try us.